Hello, welcome to this online lesson. I'm your best social studies teacher, Teacher Paul Kuria. In this lesson, as I welcome you, I want to remind you about what we learned previously about topographical maps. And the question I'm posing to you, my dear learner, is what is a topographical map? What is contained in a topographical map? And what's the importance of a topographical map? If you want all these answers, I want you on the same channel, you go to the previous video that had uploaded for you, where you learn more about the introduction to topographical maps. In this particular lesson, allow me to take you through human activities that are done what? Represented on a topographical map. Human activities represented on a topographical map. Let's learn these human activities. There are quite a number. We've got livestock keeping, transport, fishing, trade, settlement, lumbering, mining, and quarrying, among other human activities that can be represented on a topographical map. We move on, and now we want to see how exactly are the human activities that we've just mentioned represented on a topographical map. Let's start with transport. Now, transport on a topographical map is indicated by the presence of one, roads, and these roads with different categories of roads with main, major roads, and so on and so forth. With railway lines, airports and airstrips, ports, and so on and so forth. So anytime on a topographical map, you see roads, railway lines, airports, or even airstrips, ports, it's showing that on that particular area, there is a human activity of transport that is taking place. The second human activity on a topographical map is lumbering. Do you know what's lumbering? In a fraction of a second, remind yourself about what lumbering entails. It's a human activity. Now, lumbering on a topographical map is indicated by the presence of minor roads that end in the middle of the forests. Minor roads ending in the forests. Another representation of lumbering on a topographical map is the presence of sawmills. So when you see a sawmill on a topographical map, it's a clear indication that at that particular area covered by that topographical map, there is the human activity of lumbering. Mining and quarrying. Mining and quarrying can be shown on a topographical map by the presence of quarries, mines, mineral works, or even if you see extraction areas on a map, then you know very well that there is the human activity of mining and quarrying. What about fishing? Fishing on a map, more so the topographical map, is indicated by the presence of settlement around a water body, fish traps, fish ponds, and even fish villages. Allow me to remind you, my dear learner, that the mere presence of a water body, let's say a lake, a river, does not necessarily mean that there is fishing. For you to say there is fishing, we must see fish traps, fish ponds, maybe fishing villages, and also people having settled around the water body. Next, with the keeping of livestock. What shows that there is livestock keeping on a topographical map? One, with grassland with scattered clusters of dwellings, water pans, boreholes, kettle dips, water pumps, and veterinary installations. Another human activity is trade. Trade on a topographical map is indicated by the presence of towns, ports, urban councils, markets, and recently shopping malls, shops, trading centers, and so on and so forth. What about settlement? How will settlement be represented on a topographical map? It's indicated by the presence of black dots or even regular black dots on the topographical map. Another human activity is farming or even agriculture. Farming is indicated by the presence of cultivated fields or even regular patterns on the land. Sometimes it can be labeled with words like shamba. Shamba is the Swahili name for a farm or a plantation. With another human activity we refer to as forestry. Now, forestry, tree plantations are shown using tree symbols or even shading. It shows areas where trees are planted and also harvested. Last but not least, this one I think we've mentioned, farming. It's indicated by the presence of cultivated fields or regular patterns on the land. And sometimes it can be labeled with words like shamba, which I've already told you is the Swahili name for farm or plantations. My dear learner, on your screen, I'm showing you symbols that are used to represent human activities on topographical maps. Kindly take your time, study them well, and I want to challenge you. Each of the symbols that you see on this topographical, that I've extracted from several topographical maps, ask yourself, which human activity is it representing? When I talk of storage tanks, a windmill, a bridge, a footbridge, four lanes, an overpass, an underpass, a rice paddy, like rice paddy is showing this farming, okay? Sand harvesting, mines showing this quarrying, towers, fences, power lines, all those. So take your time because I know you have time. Look at these symbols, and for each of these symbols, ask yourself what it represents, which human activity it's representing on the topographical map. You can as well discuss with your friend or even your parent or guardian, or you can also ask your teacher. And if you hit a rock, kindly reach out to me and I'll guide you accordingly. There are several of them, like buildings, schools, church, built up area, airport, landing strip, name them. Like on this one, if you see, for instance, an orchard, evergreen trees, what cultivated land, okay? What human activity is it showing on topographical map? A quarry, for instance, when you see this kind of settlements dispersed, nucleated, linear, and so on and so forth, there's another one here on your screen. I can see railway line. I can see boundaries, rivers, a temple, church, Now, I want you to identify which of these are representation of human human activities, because that's what we are learning about today. My dear esteemed learner, we've come to the end of this session. I've been your social studies teacher, Teacher Paul Kuria. Continue learning more, and more. See you in our next video. Goodbye.